All right, so have you heard this whole DoorDash thing, right?
Yeah.
Can you actually make like $500 a week?
Yeah, it's a question we get a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds good. Who wouldn't want that flexibility and that kind of cash?
Right.
We got to look into it, though, right? Like, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Let's dive into this Money Lion article we got here.
Exactly.
It's called How to Make $500 a Week with DoorDash.
Very specific. Catchy.
Very catchy, bold. And we're all about getting into it, the good, the bad, and all that, right?
Yeah, 100%. We're all about that reality check. Like this $25 an hour DoorDash throws around
Oh.
Indeed's data. A little different story. Closer to $18 an hour on average.
Okay, so already got to be realistic,
Yeah.
but $18 isn't bad, right? What's the catch?
Well, that's where this article's 13 tips and strategies come in.
Oh, they're going to break it down for us.
Yeah, they get into the nitty-gritty. Some of it's new, too. Like, ever heard of DoorDash's guaranteed earnings?
No, is that new?
It's relatively new, yeah. It's like a game changer, honestly.
What is that, guaranteed earnings?
So they guarantee a certain amount
Okay.
if you complete a certain number of deliveries.
So it's not just all up in the air, you kind of know.
It's way more predictable. And then there's the, what is it called? Earn by time, that one too.
Okay, so with earn by time, you're basically saying, I'm clocking in.
Basically, you're getting an hourly rate on top of your tips.
So no more just relying on those little pings and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it's becoming less of a side hustle and more like...
Real gig.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're smart about it.
It's getting interesting. So you're saying DoorDash is becoming less of a side hustle now.
Yeah, like more of a real job, potentially. But they talk about multi-apping in this article, too.
Oh, yeah, using like all the apps, right?
Exactly. Like you said, using all of them. It's not even really optional if you want to hit that 500.
Oh, wow, really? Why is that?
Well, think about it. You're out there anyway. Might as well have every app open, right? DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, whatever's in your area.
Right, so you're not just sitting there waiting for one to ping you.
Exactly. Got to be efficient. And speaking of efficiency, the article, it mentions having that business mindset.
Okay, yeah. Business mindset, I've heard that before, but what does it actually mean for this?
Basically treating it like a real business. You're an entrepreneur now.
Okay, right, so like,
Yeah.
what does the entrepreneur do?
First, they know their market. They even use this phrase hotspot hunting, knowing the best spots in town.
So it's not just about knowing where the restaurants are, right? Like, what else?
Think about it. What's going on in your city? Big events, concerts letting out, conferences, games.
Oh, I see what you mean. Those would be prime time.
Huge. Or even just the weather. Rainy day, more people ordering in. Gotta think like that.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how it's not just driving around. It's more than that.
Way more. And customer service. Big one. This one, Dasher, they quote, said tips were everything if you want to make that 500 consistently.
Makes sense. Good service, good tips.
Right, but you got to be smart about it. Little things add up. Being friendly, remembering people's orders.
I'm big on that. I always tip more when they're cool.
Exactly. You're building your brand, even just for a minute or two with each person.
I like that, a mini brand. It's true. It's like you remember them the next time, too.
There you go. And before we forget, the article mentions tracking your income.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Essential. That's part of the whole business mindset. You wouldn't believe how many people forget that part.
Got to stay organized, right? Especially with taxes and all that.
Oh, yeah, big time. Mileage, gas. All adds up.
Speaking of adding up, can we get to the big question?
The 500.
Yeah, is it really doable?
Honestly, it depends. The article's right about that. Location. Huge.
Like, city versus suburbs makes that much of a difference.
Oh, yeah. Big city, more orders, more competition. Suburbs, maybe less of both.
So you got to hustle even harder in a smaller town.
Maybe, or get creative. And that plays into the whole hustle thing too, right? Like, are you willing to work weekends, evenings, when people are ordering?
Prime time, right, like we were talking about before.
Exactly, because a lot of that 500, it's probably coming from those busy times. And the tips, of course.
Which comes back to that good service.
Always. But bigger picture, it's about mindset. You're a business owner now, like we were saying.
Okay, yeah, the business mindset. We've said it a lot, but what's the biggest thing for people to remember?
Take ownership, you know? You decide when you work, how you work, you analyze, you adjust, just like any business.
That's actually kind of empowering when you think about it.
Totally. And it gets you thinking, right? Like, we talked about multi-apping.
Yeah.
But what about applying that to the apps themselves? Like, what if DoorDash isn't even the best one?
Oh, interesting. You're saying there might be better apps out there.
Think about it. Everyone's on DoorDash, Uber Eats.
Yeah.
More competition, right? But those smaller ones, Maybe focusing on groceries or like fancy meals or dietary stuff.
Less people, more unique orders. I like it.
Right. You find your niche, maybe you make more, you never know.
That's what we like, finding those hidden gems.
Exactly. Got to think outside the pizza box sometimes, you know?
Love it. All right, so if there's one thing to take away from today's deep dive, it's not just about driving.
Not even close.
It's about strategy. It's about treating it like a real business.
100%.
A little hustle never hurts either.
The key ingredient.
There you go. All right, thanks for diving deep with us. Maybe next time we'll be talking about your booming delivery business. Until then.
Happy dashing.